Hello everyone, it's been a while since my last video. Some of you might be wondering why. Well, I bought a new monitor which actually has more than 8 pixels, which you can't really see right now because what happened was that my CPU was just way too weak to record while I play on full screen, so I kinda stopped. And now I decided to try to find the right settings so I can still record, which requires me to play in a window pretty much the same size as it was before. So that's what happened, and I guess you can expect more videos soon and also some gameplay videos. But this time, after a long time, I actually got a request to review this replay of Dark Google and point him some things to improve, since he has some problems with breaking turtles of other players. So let's see what's going on here. So we are on Jungle Valley, interesting map for, I think it's 5v5 map, yeah. Don't have Supreme Scoreboard enabled since it's interfering with co-op and since I'm doing a lot of testing right now. But anyway, see rocks, it's not showing all the rocks, just the big ones, doesn't matter. Well, but to the build order, not too bad, second air, but I think the hydro is close enough to go for it. If you start here, then place your first land factory as close to this max and to the hydro as possible, and getting the hydro would be worth it than building the pigeons. And reclaiming this rock when building the max would not hurt as well, at least the big one and later the smaller ones. So I guess what I would do is send the first NG to the hydro and build waste U, then build a air factory, and the other NG that would build first this max, then move to this max, and then start reclaiming this mass, and maybe later something here as well. See, on the other side, this NG doesn't really have any rocks to reclaim here, those are just trees, so this one can be expanding, taking the maxes. This scout and the tank is not really needed here since there's a hill, so nothing can come here. This is only place where you can get to the main base, so sending them over here either to protect these two maxes so you can grab them later, or try to take out the NG that is expanding one of the ways. And now we're getting to the power issues, which would not happen if the hydro would be taken first. Else it's good to have one NG assisting your ACU to get the pigeons faster, because you already have 6-7 maxes, and they also take some power to build while your ACU was busy building some other things. And actually the air factory was way too early, since just 5 pigeons is already air factory, so you need at least 6 pigeons, and that's like minimum. It's recommended to have 7, or hydro 1 pigeon, and then you can go air factory no problem and build air units. So right now there's the issue with overflowing mass and not really using it, and this NG is still just reclaiming these single trees, which is not worth it. Would be better if it was expanding. On the other side, let's see what the opponent did. No air factory yet, and expanding to the middle much faster. So on this map you actually need to make some T1 units, since it's just a 5-kilometer map, and try to take one of the sides, so at least half of the map, which won't be possible really with single factory that is idle. So the first factory needs to keep building units all the time, and getting even more, like additional 3 factories no problem, since you will at least secure these 4 maxes. So you can support it no problem, and also with this additional reclaim in your base. So better build order would be the factory, as I said here, going for the Hydra. Then you can choose if you want to go air, it's possible. Building another air factory, and then I guess I would get at least one more land factory with ACU before I would start moving. And meanwhile, this engineer would be already expanding, and this tank could be already protecting it or trying to raid, since if you send it to the bottom to take this route and also these two maxes, then you can try to raid here and, well, kind of hope that nothing will go through the middle. But if you worried, you can put some land scout here or second tank, or you can try to raid through the middle yourself, and that way you would be sure. So now we have bomber with 2 kills already, not bad. What would be best to target is NGs that are building power, so that already happened, and then pigeons. Or if there are units clumped up like this, you can always try to bomb them, since that's one bomb and it's worth it to damage them all. But trying to take out all NGs before the A is built, that's always good. And meanwhile, the AC really needs to start building some factories, because right now there's nothing happening in this base. This factory is still not producing too much, and power storage is not really needed so early. Like getting them, well, you can get 1 if you want, 2 is unnecessary. If you want to rush gun, it's always good to have some extra power, or just for some overcharges and managing your power. If you have 1 power storage, it's always better, but on 5 km map you should be fine for the beginning, just with the basic storage from ACU, which is 5k. So I guess problem in this game is not really gonna be breaking a turtle, but problem in this game is that you don't really know how to expand, since you need to take at least half of the map, and that's not possible with one idle land factory. And then if your opponent already has such an advantage as a map control and actually more units, then you can do pretty much whatever he wants. And if your opponent right now decided to just walk his ACU with these units, it would be game over already, since you have really nothing to defend with. It's with 3 tanks and single ACU, so that's already dead. But your opponent doesn't really have air and no scouting, so he doesn't know that. So his mistake. No, didn't want that. Okay, so getting on 5 km map, well, also on 10 km map would be the same case, getting more land factories and actually produce units and take at least half of the map and raid pretty much everywhere. Try to do that. Else at this point, not really much you can do anymore, since now building some extra factories, so you will get more units, but your opponent will already have more no matter what you do. And since he also have more maxes, then he will have more mass to support it. You can start upgrading maxes to T2, which is happening right here, and that's gonna be really hard to catch up. So if this is gonna be the case where he was gonna just get some T2 PDs, then you will always be behind from this point. So I guess it's just a bad start, and I think I don't need to really watch this replay anymore, since it's already lost. So more factories at the beginning, get some more tanks, and take at least half of the map as soon as you can. Scout your opponent, what he's doing. If he's building more tanks, then you might as well think about the same, since in 5 km map the distance is really short, so you can do a lot of damage with tanks. And if you manage to capture more than half of the map, then you can start thinking about ecoing, or meanwhile also getting some guns, slowly a few more pigeons, not really so many power storages. That's wasted mass into power storages. Especially I think if you wanna rush gun, then getting few extra pigeons and one storage is enough to get it. No need for 4 storages. Now he's getting T2. So it's not really a problem with breaking the turtle, but it's problem with initial build order getting at least half of the map, since he can just overrun you anytime he wants, and from this point you can't really do anything. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be it for this video. Expect more in the near future.